Hey guys, it's Max. We just got in the brand new 2020 16-inch MacBook Pro with the new Radeon 5600M graphics card. That is a very spendy upgrade. And today we're gonna figure out if that new graphics card is worth it in a variety of tasks. Now, as I open up this MacBook Pro, let me tell you about our new MaxTech merch. We have these new premium hoodies that are ultra soft, ultra comfortable. If you guys wanna support MaxTech, check out that shelf down below or the link in the video description. You definitely won't be disappointed, especially if you like all the Apple products. Okay, let's go ahead and open up our new MacBook Pro here. Let's start out with Geekbench 5's metal score. Right here, we see the 5600M. I'm gonna go ahead and run it. Now, what's very interesting about this Apple-specific 5600M is that it is using HBM2 memory, 8 gigs of it, and that memory is actually more than twice as fast as the 5500M. So that is very impressive. Now, there is also a 5700M from AMD, but this 5600 actually has more compute cores. It has 40. So I don't know what is going on, but Apple has this special edition graphics card, and I hope it lives up to its price tag. And we have our score. It is 43,144. To put that into perspective, that is more than double the score of the base 5300M, and that is just over 50% more performance than the previous best graphics option. What makes this even more impressive is that all of this performance is coming from the same 50-watt TDP as the 5500M. So they actually lowered the clock speeds, but the core count went from 24 all the way up to 40. So they're making this thing ultra efficient, and we're getting almost the same amount of performance as the best possible Vega 48 graphics, the best option in the 5K iMac, and also fairly close to the Vega 56 that is in the iMac Pro. So we're getting desktop level performance in a laptop. Before we do some real world video editing tests, let's run GFXBench's metal test here. And here we have it. For Aztec Ruins, we got 135 frames per second. That compares to, I have 90 for the previous best and 86 for the 5300M. So we didn't have a big difference between the base and the high end before, because we went from 20 cores up to 24. Now we have 40, and we're seeing a pretty big difference. And as far as the Manhattan test, we went up to 258.9, so basically 259 frames per second. Once again, a pretty big difference compared to our previous best graphics cards, including the previous graphics card, the Vega 20, that had HBM2 memory. Now let's run our gaming benchmark. This is Unigine Heaven with the Extreme preset. And here's our score. We have 75.7 frames per second. Once again, using that Extreme preset. That is pretty good. That's about 50% faster than the previous best 5500M, even faster than the previous graphics cards. And one interesting thing is, you guys could probably hear the fans right now, but the GPU proximity is showing 73 degrees Celsius for the temperature. So the fans are spinning up, but it's keeping that GPU cool. And what I was very impressed by is this graphics card in this MacBook Pro is actually beating out the very best Vega 48 in the 5K iMac that also uses HBM2 memory, and even the Vega 56 in the iMac Pro. Also, we're doing this unplugged. We're not plugged into the wall at all. A lot of gaming laptops, they suffer, a huge performance decrease if you unplug it. But this graphics card is optimized at 50 watts and it doesn't need you to plug it in. If you're interested in more gaming results, we're actually gonna be doing a dedicated gaming video, including installing Windows Boot Camp. We're gonna test out Warzone and some other tests. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you guys wanna see that video. But now let's get into video editing. We're gonna start out with BruceX over here. I'm gonna go ahead and export this test project that really pushes the graphics card for rendering. And we have 9 seconds for BruceX. That is fast. So that's more than twice as fast compared to the base graphics card. Good amount faster than the 5500M, as you guys could see. And it's actually closer to the Mac Pro, which takes 6 seconds, than it is to the previous best MacBook Pro graphics card. So definitely, once again, that is very impressive. And it actually beats out both the iMac with the best graphics and the iMac Pro with the Vega 56. So Once again, very impressive for graphics rendering and video editing. And now let's test out video stabilization. I'm no longer using that 20-second clip. I'm gonna go straight for a 1-minute clip because these laptops are getting so fast with Final Cut. So let's go ahead and get started here. And we have 10 seconds to stabilize this 1-minute clip. Excellent speed compared to 15 seconds was our previous best. And let's make this a little bit more difficult. I have Canon C200 raw footage. This is a 30-second clip. There's a lot more processing that needs to be done. Let's go ahead and start the stabilization here. All right, and we have 39 seconds. Wow, okay, so you guys see the previous ones right here. There's barely any difference between these different generations in graphics cards until this new 5600M, where it is almost twice as fast as the 5500M. That is very impressive, and that shows that we definitely had a graphics bottleneck because these other machines have 6 cores or 8 cores, all of that stuff, but the graphics is holding it back, and all while being the same wattage. Very interesting. Now let's go ahead and test out an export for an actual project. And now let's go ahead and do an export test. This is my standard 5-minute 4K test. I have 2 LUTs applied, some corrections, some film grain, and I've had it running for a bit now, and I'm seeing something that looks very interesting. So the thing that really sticks out to me is the graphics card is only being used at 73%. You guys can see right here, our memory is not even maxed out. Our processor is at 74% now. We're not seeing 100% usage, and the reason is that the graphics is not really a limitation. Even with 4K, full resolution, with those effects stacked on, it's more than powerful enough. So if you're doing more simple type of video editing, even with different titles and effects, this might be kind of overkill for you guys. Let's go ahead and see what time it takes. That took 3 minutes and 3 seconds, and the previous versions got 3 minutes and 21 seconds. So a little bit faster, but really not by much. So unless you're gonna be doing a lot more effects or be doing like 6K or maybe even 8K editing, it might be a little bit too much of a graphics card where you're not gonna utilize all of it, just like the graphics card I have in my Mac Pro. Now, if you guys wanna see more about video editing, especially this timeline performance and both Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve and Final Cut as well, I'll have a link in the video description to my channel. After this video, I'm gonna be testing that out and putting that video out hopefully tomorrow, so you guys go and subscribe to that as well. All right, guys, so is the 5600M graphics card worth it? Well, it depends. First off, in metal, it scored more than twice as much compared to the base graphics card, and it scored a lot better than the higher end one. So that performance was great, and in gaming, it did astonishingly well. Not only did it perform really well, it actually beat out the best graphics card you can get in the 5K iMac, and even our $5,000 iMac Pro, it beat that out. So gaming is better on the laptop, unplugged on the go. That is very impressive. What's more impressive is it's actually faster than hooking up an eGPU with a 5700X graphics card. That gets about 70 FPS compared to, I think we got 77 or so, right? 75.7, that's what it was. So if you're thinking about getting a base MacBook Pro and getting an eGPU, that's gonna cost $700-800. You have to have external display. This internal graphics card is gonna perform better, so keep that in mind. Now, as far as video editing, some of the tests were more than twice as fast as well. So definitely, from what we can see, the performance is there. It definitely performs shockingly well for a 50-watt chip and a big performance enhancement. But the but is this thing's $800. It is very expensive. It's not cheap. The reason why is that HBM2 memory is extremely expensive. It's more than twice as fast with 8 gigs. That really ups the cost with these graphics chips. On the plus side, you can actually buy the base model and upgrade to this graphics card, where before, a couple of years ago, for the Vega 20 option, you had to buy the high-end MacBook Pro to even get the option to spend extra money. So Apple's giving us a little bit more flexibility. And if you're somebody that wants a game on the side after work is done, go for that 6-core and then maybe get the best graphics, or even for video editing with Final Cut. These programs are relying more and more on graphics now than the CPU. So I would say instead of getting an 8-core with a weaker graphics card, go for the 6-core with this better one. And if you're somebody just getting into it, you might as well not spend extra money. Go for something a little bit less expensive. We'll have links down in the video description below. Now, we are going to be doing a full review maybe a week from now after we've done more testing. I'm going to have a dedicated video for video editing. We're going to do a video for gaming. So make sure you guys click that circle above so you guys can subscribe. And we will see you guys in the next video.